Welcome back to In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. Mr. S, we've got one that I am excited about today.
This is going to be unique. You know, of all the different folks that we've had the privilege of interviewing and talking to, this one is just in a different category.
Totally different. And what are we waiting on?
Let's just jump right into it. Let's roll the intro clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event on In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. Stepping into the ring is a man who didn't just chase speed, he mastered it on ice. A USA luge athlete, an Olympian, a competitor who's flown down frozen tracks at speeds pushing 90 miles per hour, just inches from disaster. In a sport where one mistake can cost everything, he built the discipline to stay locked in, the courage to let go, and the mindset to commit fully. Now he's taken that same mentality beyond the track, helping others face fear, take risks, and perform under pressure. He's not just fast, he's fearless with purpose. Ruben, the luge man.
Ruben, welcome. Oh, we can't hear you. Can you hear his audio? I can't hear his audio.
Your audio we were talking to you a while ago. And it just,
There we go. We can hear you, Ruben.
There it is.
Yeah, he muted me for the opening. That's why.
There you go. Very good to finally connect with you, Ruben. I know you and Termite have known each other for a while, and you've been trying to connect for how long?
10 years, Ruben, they've been trying to get us together? At least.
At least.
At least.
Yeah, Gail Stolzenberg, I'm sure you know him. He's probably the first one to try to hook us up.
Yep.
But anyways, so it's good. Finally, hey, it's all right. We made it.
So Ruben, I got to tell you, I don't get real excited about a lot of things. This one I've been excited about.
You have.
You've been excited about it.
I have. This is very, very interesting. I mean, not every day. I mean, who does these kind of things? So, and for our audience, it's obviously the luge man is going to give quite a bit away, but you know, we do rounds and kind of the introduction. So I'm just going to jump in as we start this and say, you know, you are doing something that most people not only can't comprehend, but haven't even been around. But before we get into some of your cool stories, let's talk us about Ruben growing up. You know, is this something that you thought about?
Where'd you come from? How'd you get started in life? Where were you born?
I was born in Argentina in a little stinky refinery town. My dad was a chemical engineer for Exxon. And when I was 6 years old, in 1968, things started getting really bad over there. Terrorism and people disappearing. And my dad, even though he spoke hardly any English, he figured out a way to get Exxon to move him to the United States. And so all of a sudden, we're in Queens, New York, Jackson Heights for a couple of years, then Houston for a few years, then Venezuela, you know, oil brat, basically, back to Houston. I went to Dulles High School in Stafford, and I went to Houston Baptist University. I could never get used to the heat, and so in Colorado now.
Nice.
Might actually be in Utah to get closer to the track.
Wow. So Ruben, we were talking when we got started. Sorry about taking the lead. Normally he does that, but I'm just excited. So Ruben, go back to your childhood. You came from Argentina. Where'd you go to first?
Queens, New York, and I didn't speak a word of English. And so I always loved to read books. I love to read adventure books, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Around the World in 80 Days, all these books about kids that led adventurous lives. Had them all in Spanish. My parents, they bought them all in English. They brought in a tutor, and that's how I learned how to speak English.
Oh, my goodness.
And when I was the only kid in my class didn't speak English. I mean, so it was tough. And you know, when you're the oddball, you're the target, right, for all the
Get made fun of. Kids are ruthless.
Yeah, but you know what? Looking back, it wasn't fun back then. But if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So I give thanks for it now. But once I could speak English, I'd bring these books to school with them, show them to my friends. I said, I want my life to be like a book. They look at me kind of funny. I said, what do you mean? I said, I want my life to be an adventure. I mean, how cool would that be? And I always had the antennas looking for the adventure. And I'll never forget when I was 10 years old, I'm sitting on the sofa with my younger brother, Marcelo, and we're watching the 72 Winter Olympics. Sapporo, Japan. It's the first time I saw him. If I'd have stayed in Argentina, I wouldn't even have heard of the Olympics. All I care about there is soccer. Okay,
Of course.
and so I was hooked. I thought, man, that's it. That's my dream. That's what I'm going to do. And look at those skiers. They're flying down the mountain and the people going crazy. I was like, I'm going to be in the Olympics. But it was a pipe dream because I'm a slowpoke, okay? I mean,
Okay.
fiber. I was always the last kid picked for PE. I'm just like Rudy. A lot of heart, but no
Rudy.
body. And so it was a pipe dream. But I couldn't let go of it. I mean, I'm still fascinated about it, all these years later. And so I read everything about the Olympics, and I read about Olympic history and philosophy. I knew all the stories. And I wanted, when I saw them, what drew me to them, and this is strange, but especially for a 10-year-old, but maybe it's because all those books I'd read, what drew me to them wasn't their athleticism, it was their spirit, it was their heart. Because I realized right away, wow, this is a group of people, they've got a dream, they're willing to train for years and years, no guaranteed success, and finally they make it. I thought, you got to be so tough to put yourself through that. And so they were up on a pedestal, they were like my heroes, and I just want to be like them. I want to be one of those guys. And that's all I talked about. And after a while, my dad got tired of me talking the talk, but not walking the walk. And he said, Ruben, you like to read books. Why don't you read some biographies? If you'll study the lives of great people, you'll figure out how to make your dream come true, because success leaves clues. And I started reading them, and I liked them right away because they were true life adventures. And I noticed right away, it's always the same story. It's always dream, struggle, victory, right? And then I started looking for what's one thing all these people have in common, something I can work on. And I kept seeing perseverance. I just refused to quit, right? Like Rocky, I ain't going down no more. And so I'm so glad I can finally say it in a real podcast about boxing. Anyways.
It worked.
So perseverance, they were a bunch of hardheads, right? I mean, some of them, 20 years, they're banging their head on the wall trying to figure out how to make that dream come true. But if they didn't quit, they either figure it out on their own through trial and error, or more than likely, they ran into somebody who became their coach or mentor, showed them the way. But the ones that quit, you never hear about those, right? And so my mom always called me a hardhead, right? So I thought that was my middle name for the longest time. La cabeza dura in Spanish means hardhead. And so I thought, okay, maybe I have a little bit what it takes. I just polish it up. And so I made a decision at 12 years old that changed my life. And success is a decision.
It is.
Sooner or later, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you get mad enough that you're willing to do what you weren't willing to do before. And then things start changing. Yeah. It's like that Rocky moment, right? I ain't going down no more. And I start playing the music, and something good's about to happen, right? And so I just kept reading about it, and I made a decision from today on, Ruben doesn't quit anything. And by high school, my nickname was Bulldog. Kids started calling me Bulldog because they saw that I was tenacious. Okay, I didn't make up the name. And I walk out of the library.
Earned it.
This kid says, your name needs to be Bulldog. I said, why? Because Bulldogs never quit. If he grabs hold of your leg, he's not going to let go. Really? I turned around, went back inside, got me a book about Bulldogs. Make sure it's not making it up. It's your facts, right? Trust but verify, like Reagan used to say.
There you go.
And so I read up on it. I thought, man, these dogs used to have to play, fight bulls and roam, right, in the crazy places. I loved it, right? So I loved that nickname. It fit. It actually fit. He wasn't making it up. Yeah. And so that was positive peer pressure. I didn't even realize it, but now I had to live up to the name. I couldn't quit. And so I just kept, I played soccer all my life, being from Argentina. I'm pretty good, but I'm a slowpoke. So the other guy gets the ball first. So I'm always on the bench. I was on the bench my whole life. I found out that Houston Baptist University had an NCAA Division I soccer team. And they were recruiting people from all over the world. Okay, this at one point it was one of the top 20 teams in Division I out of about 500 teams. But there was one spot for a walk-on, right? You could try out. And so I went and I tried out and I made the team. It's like overnight jock. I didn't even play in high school. My high school didn't have soccer. And here I'm playing Division I. Well, I'm on the team. And 2 weeks in, we're at practice, and coach says, come to my office after practice. And I go and says, close the door, sit down. He goes, obviously, you had an incredible day a couple of weeks ago on tryout because you're really not that good.
How'd you make this team?
You're slow, man. You're holding us back. The new rule around here is you get to play only if we're winning by 2 goals because you're a threat to our own team.
Oh man, ouch.
Yeah, a real motivator. But I didn't even get down. I was so happy to be part of that team that I realized, okay, maybe I'm not too valuable on the field, but I can be valuable off the field. And I just became the Rudy of the team. If whatever needed done, I was there, right? And I was working my tail off. And I was on the traveling squad for 3 years and didn't play much. All my soccer buddies, they have all these scars on their knees from all the multiple knee operations. Me, I just had splinters in my rear end. But I was on the team, and that was good for my self-esteem. And then something happened. I can see you're looking at your watch, so we must be getting ready.
Yes, we are at the end of round 1. I'm going to ring the bell. I love your observation, and we're going to go for a commercial break. Can you announce that, Termite? We're going to announce our commercial break.
All right, we're going to a commercial break. We'll be back in just a sec.
All you got to do is do this. You look at your watch, you go, and then I'll know. Okay?
That works. And welcome back to In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. All right, we're going to continue where we were at the commercial break. You were walking us through that, how you started. And I loved what you just said about the coach came and told you you're a liability, you're not good enough. And you did not let that bring you down. You said, you know what, if I can't play, I'm going to find a way to contribute to the team, whether it's morale or whatever you did. That is a perspective that I would say very few people take.
Well, I don't think I was that noble, and I just didn't want to get cut. I was willing to do whatever it takes.
Okay. All right, you're being honest.
And so, I'm gonna. And so I like marketing, so I would make these little posters of a soccer player and come watch us play Saturday, right? And I made sure not to write in the 100-degree weather and 100% humidity. But people started coming in, and then a booster club got formed, and we started getting popular. And so I'm just glad I was able to contribute. And 40 years later, we still play a little bit,
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
So now let's jump in. So obviously the luge man. So now we're talking soccer, and luge is not just something people stumble upon like you do in soccer in Argentina. Your friends are playing and you just play soccer. The luge is very intentional. How in the world did you even?
You're gonna love this, Mr. F.
Well, I'm sitting on that bench. I'm 21 years old. The Olympics roll around again. 1984, Sarajevo Winter Olympics. And I'm watching it on TV. And I see this little guy's about 5'1". He must have weighed 110 pounds soaking wet. And this kid, he wins the gold medal in figure skating. Scott Hamilton, right? So when I saw Scott Hamilton win, he gave me hope, okay? I thought you had to be like you, Mr. S, big, muscly guy, in the Olympics. And he just totally shattered my paradigm. I thought, if that little guy can win, I can at least play. I won't be in the next one, so it's a done deal. I just got to find a sport, right? And for the
I just got to find a sport.
That's it. Yeah. But I believed. Before I had the desire, you got to have 2 types of courage to make a big dream come true. You have to have the desire, and you have to have the belief. Belief will get you going, right? If you believe something's possible, hey, I'll give it a shot. Desire, that keeps you going, right?
Yeah.
If you want something badly enough, ain't nothing going to make you quit. And so, and the classic example is your house is burning down. You're not going to go in there to save your flat screen TV, but if your kids are in there, you're going to run through burning walls, right? So what changed? Still hot and burning. Yeah, well, my desire to save my kids 100 times more. And so I always had the desire. I never had the belief. And then I see Scott Hamilton. Boom, I got the belief. I can do this, right? And so I went to the library. All the answers are in the library. Okay?
All right. You do your research on everything.
Oh, yeah. Got a big book about the Olympics. I started looking at the list of the summer sports, right? And it took me 5 minutes to realize, man, you got to be Superman to do any of these things. There's no way. Okay, you got to be able to jump over houses and lift cars and 100 miles an hour. I couldn't do any of that stuff. And so that belief took a hit. Okay, it took a hard hit. And then I started looking at the winter sports. As I'm looking at that list, I thought, wait a minute. I'm about to put together a plan for the next 4 years. I need to base the plan on my strengths. My strength's not athleticism. I'm just okay athlete. My strength's perseverance. I'm bulldog, remember? So I thought I need to find a sport that's so tough. A sport's got so many broken bones in it. There'd be lots of quitters, right? Only I won't quit. Right?
I love it.
I got to find a tough. So now I'm looking for tough sports: ski jump, bobsled, luge. I lived in Houston, Texas. You know, I lived there before. The only ice I'd ever seen was my iced tea. Okay, for ski jump, forget it. That's not hard. That's suicide. And bobsled. Where are you going to find 3 other nuts in Houston who want to do the bobsled? You got to go to Jamaica for that, right? That left the luge. I'd never seen the luge on TV at that point in my life. If I had, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm not that crazy. But I had a little picture of a guy on a luge. I thought, you can do that one by myself. That looks really scary. That's the one for me. I didn't even know where the track was. So I wrote Sports Illustrated a letter, right?
You wrote, oh my goodness.
So I wrote him a letter. I asked him, where do you go learn how to luge? Signed, Ruben. And they actually wrote back. And they sent me a picture of a guy on a luge. And I stuck it in an 8x10 frame right in front of my bed. And that was the luge man. That's what I call him. And, you know, I didn't know his name. And first person in the morning I saw, you know, when I woke up was the luge man. So he reminded me, hey, I'm going for the Olympics. Got to eat right. Got to work out. Got to read good books, you know, for the mental side. Hang around winners, positive people. And at night, before I shut off the lights, you know, every night, last person I saw. So what do you think I dreamt about? Luge, Olympics.
Just
I mean,
constant.
Yeah. I mean, right now, my ringtone on my phone, it's the bell that we hear up at the start, right? So even when I get a spam call, you know, a robocall, hey, they're helping me get to the Olympics. They don't know. When my kids send me a text, it's the sound of a sled. I just recorded one of the tracks.
That's awesome.
I'm it all the time. And so they wrote back and they said, Sports Illustrated said, Lake Placid, New York. That's where the track is. So I'll call them up. I'm an athlete here in Houston. I want to learn how to luge. I'll be in the Olympics in 4 years. Will you help me? Right? I mean, wouldn't you have done that? Right?
Of course. Natural.
Wouldn't anybody do that? And the guy goes, how old are you? And I said, 21. And he started laughing. He goes, forget it, man. You're way too old. We start them off when they're 8, 9, 10 years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Off when they're 5 years old, okay? Because it takes 10 years to learn this sport. Okay? Out of the 3 sliding sports, skeleton, bobsled, and luge, luge accounts for 70% of the injuries and it's the hardest one to learn. It's all counterintuitive. And I didn't realize I picked the hardest one. So that was the God thing. And so he said, forget it. You can't. It takes 10 years to learn this. And I wouldn't hang up. I mean, I just wouldn't shut up, right? I just keep talking. And I happened to tell him, because I was trying to buy some time so I could think of something. And so I knew if I hang up, it's, you know,
it's over.
It's over. It's done, right? So I'm going to drive this guy crazy. And I happened to tell him I was born in Argentina. And he gets all excited all of a sudden. Argentina? Why did you say so? If you'll go for Argentina, we'll help you. I said, why? A minute ago, you weren't going to help me at all. He goes, well, the sport of luge is this close to getting kicked out of the Olympics because we're not global enough. It's just the U.S. and Canada and a few European countries.
Wow,
that's it.
amazing.
I didn't know. Yeah, I fell into
That's a little business lesson. You know, you want something, I want something.
Yeah, exactly. Let's help each other out, right? So he goes, if you'll go for Argentina, you'll travel with us. We'll even lend you a sled the first year. We're going to have to compress 10 years into just 2 years. You're going to get hurt a lot. But we need to do that because the last 2 years, you still have to qualify. So the last 2 years, you got to be racing in the World Cup circuit against the best sliders in the world. And then a couple of months before the Olympics, top 50 get to go. 51 watches it on TV. So you still want to go to Argentina. Go for Argentina. I was like, I'll go for Pakistan. I don't care, man. So he said, well, before you come here, you need to know 2 things. Number 1, you want to do it at your age. You want to do it in just 4 years. It's brutal. 9 out of 10 people quit. I started smiling. I thought, thank you, God.
He's like, love it.
That's my sport.
I said, what's the second thing? He says, expect to break some bones. And I said, great. And he got real quiet. He goes, what's wrong with you, man? I just told you, break some bones. That makes you happy. I told him, look, I hope it's 10 times harder what you're telling me. Because the harder it is, the easier it is for me. Because I'm not a quitter.
That's it.
And so I went. And the first 2 years were brutal. That could be around.
Yes, that's a perfect segue. You're great at this.
Yeah.
So let's ring the bell for the end of round 2. And we're going to take a break and get some words from our sponsors.
I like it. I like y'all
Once you
things that
bring
you do.
Welcome back to In the Ring with Mr. S and Termite.
Yes, sir. All right,
Good, isn't it?
that little segue. So now you're starting to look at this sport. You were just told how dangerous it is, and how 9 out of 10 people
He just
quit.
told you were crazy. is what he
Basically,
said.
yeah.
He tried to
Yeah.
scare you away.
Yeah, he's trying, and I'm glad. I am so glad that he didn't try to talk me into it. He could have said, "Hey, it's the best sport in the Olympics. You're laying down, going downhill the whole way. I mean, come on." But no, he didn't candy coat it. And so when I hung up the phone, the reality hit. Right, I thought, "Wait a minute, this
What
guy
did
didn't
I
say
just do?
bones. I will break some bones. Okay, so how am I going to handle it? How am I going to handle it when I break a bone?" And I thought, heck, I've broken bones before. You know, you wear a cast for 6 weeks, take off the cast, it's healed up and stronger than before. So it's just a temporary inconvenience when you really think about it. And so I reframed it in my mind. And so thank God that he tried talking me out of it, because that gave me the opportunity to put on mental armor before the fight, right?
Yeah,
because
that's
didn't
it.
realize it was going to be, a professional boxing fight. I thought it was going to be hard, but not that hard. And so that, thank God for that. And I went, and just about 2 months after I saw Scott Hamilton on TV, I'm walking down Main Street, Lake Placid, looking for the Olympic Training Center, right? And it's the springtime. And I go inside, and then I go into the like 2 blocks away is where the Americans beat the Russians in the Miracle Game. So I went over there, and I spent about an hour just walking through the empty arena, but I could just see them fighting for that puck, right? And I was just fueling myself, because I knew I was going to need that, right? That desire, that fighting spirit. And then that afternoon, we're up at the track, and it's a track without ice now. It's the old bobsled track. We're going to go from the half-mile point on wheels, on luges with little wheels on them, and we're going 55 miles an hour on concrete. All we're wearing is tennis shoes, shorts, and a T-shirt, okay?
Amazing.
And a helmet, but the helmet is just to make the lawyers happy, okay? And so
Unreal.
if you crash, even though it's just 50 or 55, you're on concrete. If you crash,
Yeah.
you're toast. And they call it the
Yeah.
weeding out process in the sport of luge. All right. And then we get to the bottom. They'd hand us the sleds, and then the U.S. team, it was a junior team actually we were training with. They put them on a truck and drive them back to the top of the hill. And right there, they put me in a class with 15 guys. A couple of them quit there because they said, "We're not going to walk up. We're taking the truck, or we're not." Just out of stupid pride, and they quit. I thought, great.
Yeah.
Wow, you got 2 out of the way.
Out of the way. Every day, a couple less showed up, and by the next season, I was the only one left out of that group. I mean, there were several groups, but I was the only one left. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They're quitting on their dream, and they all had these great reasons, right? Oh, it's too expensive. It's too far away. Oh, I miss my family. I don't like the luge. Well, I didn't like the luge either. Okay, I white knuckled it for 25 years. Okay, I white knuckled it. I was scared to death, but I did it regardless because I realized, okay, if I could make it in ping pong, I'm good at ping pong, but I'm only neighborhood good in ping pong. Okay, I'm not even city of Colorado Springs good enough for ping pong. So that ain't gonna do it. Soccer, obviously, that ain't gonna do it. So I realized that sled is the vehicle is gonna take me to my dream. So whether I like it or not, that's what I got to do. And so I stuck with it. And so the first 2 years when I'm learning, and they're rushing me up, right? I broke my foot twice, my knee, my elbow, my hand, my thumb, a couple of ribs. My neck was a chiropractor's dream because you're pulling 6G. I mean, they find things there they've never seen before. And hey, look, check this out. And so I just kept at it. But then the next 2 years, they threw me to the Lions. I mean, I'm just a beginner luge guy. I'm about as good a luger as a 16-year-old kid just got their driver's permit, okay? I mean, they're not having experience. And imagine that 16-year-old kid. When you were 16 and you got your driver's permit, now they put you in this room, and on the other side of that wall is the Indianapolis 500 Speedway. And you start looking around and, wait a minute, that's A.J. Foyt. Hey, that's Al Unser. That's, that's Fittipaldi, right? I'm not good enough. I just got my driver's. And that's how I felt, right?
I could imagine.
Right. And meanwhile, the Germans, who are totally dominate the sport, they won't give me the time of day. Right. It's like I'm walking down the track. I see some Germans working on a sled, and hey, Hans, how you doing? Nothing. It's like I'm invisible, and that just confirmed in my mind that I didn't belong. And so I would go to the darkest corner of the start house. It's like it's just like a dressing room, right? Before you go slide, and because I couldn't even look at them in the eyes, and I would just, I just think, just stay focused, just keep going, don't quit, get those World Cup points, because that translates to a World Cup standing. And I just kept doing it, even though I felt like I would, totally didn't belong. And on the fourth year, I cracked it to the top 50. I made
4 years. You pushed through that for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, for nothing, right? And so Calgary Olympics, walking into the opening. So that was Calgary Olympics was the Jamaican bobsledders, right? The movie. When I watch that movie, it takes me back because it's all the same background. And then Eddie the Eagle was always also. So we need one more movie. I mean, come on now.
We need a movie.
We got Eddie and we got the Jamaican bobsledders now. Anyways, so
what year was your first Olympics?
88 Calgary. 88 Calgary was our third for all of us.
Okay.
For Jamaican, for Eddie and me. And
wow.
I got to meet Eddie the Eagle once. His glasses, I swear, they were like 2 Coca-Cola bottles. It was unbelievable. I mean, super shy guy. I mean, I just met him, said hi, basically walked away because he was even more shy.
Wow.
But, so I did 88, and then I kept going. And in 92, I made the Albertville Olympics in France. And that was 8 years straight. That was pretty burned out by then. I missed 7 Christmases in a row at home, and I was just burned out. And so I quit. And a bunch of people quit after Albertville. But it's funny, 2 years after the Calgary Olympics, after my first one, I'm walking down this track. There's these Germans working on a sled. I don't even say hi anymore because I'd be asking for it, right? And one of them yells out, "Gonzalez, Speedy Gonzalez, how are you?" I got pissed off. I thought, what is wrong with you guys? I've been nice to you guys for years, and I'm Speedy Gonzalez. And he goes, come, we must talk to you. And they all sat down. All the German sliders and the coaching staff, and they gave me the talk. Right, this is the thing they do, I guess. He goes, look, we've got 4 tracks in a country the size of Texas. Okay, back then the only track was Calgary and Lake Placid, right? And they only built Calgary, because they got the Olympics. But we decided many years ago we're going to win in this sport, and so we invested, right? And we bought 4 of them. We made 4 of them. We have all these little luge clubs everywhere. Some of us started when we were 5, and we were the best in our town. Then we were the best in our region. Then we made the national team, 10 men, 10 women. Then we made the Olympic team, 3 men, 3 women. Now there's so many great Germans coming in behind. We'll be lucky to do 2. But you know what we're going to do afterwards? I said, no, what? We're going to coach because we're going to continue this tradition. We're going to continue this legacy. And we're sick and tired of people from other countries that do one Olympics and they disappear. You know what we call them? I said, no, what? Olympic tourist, always with a little camera, right? This is a different, it's a different standard, right? They hold themselves to a higher standard. That's why they win. And so they says, now it's 2 years after your first Olympics. Obviously, you're trying to make Albertville. Whether you make it or not doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is that you are respecting the sport. So today, you gained our respect. And that's called, right? And back then, I didn't get it. I thought these guys are nuts. But now that I'm older and wiser, I totally agree. I don't agree with their methods. I mean, I've convinced a bunch of people to keep going in a nice way.
Yeah, different way.
So our theme is about getting knocked down and getting back up. You've already been knocked down several times during this story, but you got up. What just kept you going?
Let's pause and let's have them answer that after the break.
Great.
So let's ring the bell, and we're going to take a word from our sponsors and be right back.
I got to get me one of those bells.
Bring us back.
Okay. Welcome back to In the Ring. Wow, is this not awesome?
This is great. We are going to go to the final round. I cut you off right before you were just fixing to get to some good explanations
How dare
on.
you cut me off when I'm getting into this?
The bell rang. You know how it is.
Man, we're getting
Final
in an
round.
argument. Yeah,
Aren't we? I'm serious.
we may go into a 15-rounder today.
We might have to.
Yeah.
This is how does that look for us, Darrell? All right, we got
All right.
we got the thumbs up.
We got the thumbs up.
Cool.
Okay, so
Otherwise, you're going to have to give me a rematch, champ.
Yes.
well, that's what we would do, and that's probably what we're going to do anyway. We're going to bring you back because sometimes we get those stories that people just love, and I really believe this is going to be one of them. And I'm already loving it. Okay, now I want to get down to the nitty gritty. So you've already been knocked down several times, but you got up, and that's a big message to everybody out there, Mr. S. When you get knocked down, you know what? Get up. You can't win the race if you don't get up. You can't win the fight if you don't get up. Get up and try again, because you never know what's going to happen. I go back to this story with Muhammad Ali. I forgot who he was fighting. He was Muhammad Ali. A lot of people don't know this. He was ready to quit in the corner. He just couldn't go anymore. And his corner man told him, get up, get off of this stool. Made him get up, and the other guy quit on the stool. And if he wouldn't have got up, he would have lost.
Wow.
All right? So you've gotten up over and over and over. What was the worst thing that happened when you got knocked down? I know you broke all kinds of bones. And what was the worst time when you got knocked down?
Well, we're training in St. Moritz, Switzerland. And this was about a year and a half before the Calgary Olympics. And that year, the Italians were really good. We were training in the morning, and the Italians were training in the afternoon. And so I went in the afternoon to see what lines they were doing, see if I can, figure something out. And I was having a little bit of problems on curve 13, but nothing major. And so I went to 13, and I spent 2 hours watching them, right? And it was like, zoom, zoom. And every time one goes by, when you watch it on TV, it's cool. But when you're like less than 6 feet away from
it's a little different.
90, it's like, man, I can't believe I do that. I can't believe I do that. I did that for 2 hours. The next day, fighting, you're ahead of me. I know it. I hit the curve 13, and my brain reminded me, that's right, you can't do that. So I forgot to steer. I hit the top of the curve. I came down. Next thing I remember, I'm flying through the air like this, and I can see the sled through my legs, which is really bad luge position, by the way.
Very bad.
And I fly in front of the sled, and it's pieces of sled flying, and it's coming at me about 80. And I thought, whatever's on the outside, softer than that sled. If that thing hits me, I'm a dead man. So I just dove out. I don't know what I hit, but I broke my hand, I broke my foot, and that was the end of that season. And the sled was done, right? I mean, it was done. And so I got down for a couple of days, and on the way back, flying back home, I remember on the plane, I finally got my attitude back up, and I realized, you know what? I can't afford another sled, but I can borrow a sled. So I started making a list, right, of all my buddies that might be able to lend me a sled. And I started calling them up. And Adam Cook from New Zealand, he lent me his sled, okay?
Wow.
And he's shorter than me. So his sled's a lot smaller, but even though it didn't fit, it was better than sliding on my rear end. And I qualified for the Olympics on that sled. And then I qualified for it. He said, you break it, you buy me a new one, okay? You don't fix it. I said, man, I'll buy you a car, okay? But I'm not going to break it. And so I qualified, and I raced at the Olympics with that sled. And so, there's always a way. I mean, if you want it badly enough, if you want it badly enough, there's always a way.
Yeah.
If it's not really your dream, then any excuse will do, My parents wanted me to be a doctor. They pushed and pushed and pushed. And I was the oldest, and I was going to be the doctor. And I would get little play stethoscopes for Christmas every year, okay?
They're trying to shape you.
Oh, yeah. And so I went to Houston Baptist University. I did pre-med, chemistry and biology, because I like science. I figured I'll get them off my back for 4 years. I really went because I wanted to play soccer. And obviously I didn't have the grades, right? And or the desire, right? Today I'm saving lives by not being a doctor, okay? Because you don't want me on.
That's so true.
I mean, I'll be on the cheering for you from the outside. Do your reps, do your rehab. But yeah, so if it's really your desire, it's what your dream is, and don't let people talk you out of it. It doesn't matter if it's unrealistic to them. If somebody laughs at your dream, you just ran into somebody that just doesn't believe as much as you do. That's it.
That's all there is to it.
That believing is so powerful. Believing is so powerful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 63. Believe it or not, I'm sliding better and more consistently than ever now. I actually listened to Coach before. I used to take everything as a suggestion, and that didn't work.
So what is – go ahead.
No, what were you
I was going to say you're 63. what are you? What
Oh,
are you? You're
I'm
not
still
done.
sliding. I was gunning for Milan, and I just finished up 2 brutal years of a divorce, and the lawyers got all my training money, so I wasn't able to go train the last 2 years. So I was out, and so I told Coach, look, I'm in great shape now. I mean, really good shape, and mentally stronger than ever because I kept it up. And so I told Coach, look, let's just take it a year at a time. You know, I'm thinking about moving to Park City, where the track is, or close to Park City, and that way I'm there all year round, and I'm surrounded by it. Right? It's a better environment, even though I won't be training there all year round. And I told Coach, let's take it 1 year at a time. And he says, yeah, you're improving. I mean, you're still improving. It used to be the top 50 got to go. Then it became the top 40, okay? Because they keep adding sports. It's turning into the X Games, but they cap it at 3,000 for the winter and 10,000 athletes for the summer. And so Milan was the top 25, okay? I'm not top 25. When they went to top 40, the first 3 Olympics was top 50, top 50, top 50. I was about 45 when you did the math. When they did top 40, I made that one by the skin on my teeth, okay? I don't know how I made it. And now this one, he says, you got a shot, you know? He says, you got a shot. It's a long shot, okay? But you got a shot. So let's just give it all we got. And then I just ran out of money. But now I said, let's do it 1 year at a time. And as long as I have the desire, because if the desire fizzles out, then I won't do the work and I'll just be, you know? But my hope is I'm just going to keep improving. And I'm getting, you know, it used to be in the old days, 3 clean runs. A clean run means you got all the way down without even brushing a wall, right? Not necessarily fast, but you were in control. The most I ever had before was 3 in a row, right? My coach used to, you know, I used to give him a hard time. He was an Austrian coach, and he was 3-time world champion. And the best thing he ever told me after every run on the walkie-talkie, Ruben, that was not so bad. I mean, that's the best thing I ever heard.
That's a compliment. It's not bad.
Yeah, but I told him, man, you gotta, you know, I had 3 clean runs in a row. You gotta buy me a beer. I mean, I don't like beer, but it's just the principle. 4 runs. You must be consistently good. Good is not good enough. I was like, coach. Well, now I got 17 in a row. Okay, I got 17 in a row, guy. Yeah, I'm sliding better and consistently because I'm listening to coach. And so we'll see. I'm praying that it'll go back down to top 40. If it goes to top 40, I got a really good chance. If it stays at top 25, it's going to be tough. But hey, keep me young, right? Just trying. And if I do it, hey, I just might make that cover of AARP, you know?
I want to hear about that one. We're going to ring the bell as we extend these rounds, and let's go to another break. We'll be right back after words from our sponsors.
Is that your doorbell, Termite? Cling, cling.
We got a bell over. Welcome back to In the Ring. Mr. S, is this not awesome?
This is awesome, and I want to jump right into the rest of the story. So at 63, how old will you be when you I'm going to assume that you're going to make it. So how old will you be to compete?
I'll be 67. So right now
67.
I'm the first person to compete in 4 winter, okay, not summer, 4 winter Olympics, each in a different decade. Because I got one in the 80s, one in the 90s, one in the 2000s, and 2010. If this would have been 5 decades if I'd have made it this year. If I make 2030, that'll be 6 decades, okay? And I'll be the oldest Winter Olympian in history, 100-year-old record, because the oldest guy right now is from the first Winter Olympics back in 1924. Was the Swedish curler, and he was 57. So if I'd have made it this year, I'd have been the oldest ever.
I mean, I think you should get bonus points because I think in curling it's not too dangerous. You could probably do that till you're like 500 years old. But doing the luge, I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, they got the cleanest rooms in the whole Olympic Village. They're always sweeping. But
Mr. S, this crazy idea that I got?
Oh yes. I didn't think you were letting the cat out of the bag. You just kind of like.
I'm not.
All right. Okay.
But I'm where I got it from now.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, he's not ready to let the cat out of the bag, but he's got a crazy idea, and you have inspired him. You have inspired him to do it.
Yeah. We don't want to lose you, Termite.
No, but breaking records is fun.
Heck yeah.
It's
Heck yeah.
exciting.
Hey,
And doing
I'm-
things people think you can't is exciting. Why not break a record at 70 years old?
In Calgary, let's see, Calgary was the first one, Albertville. Then Salt Lake City was 10 years later, okay? Because I've taken a lot of long breaks. That's why Coach says, you're like a really old car that's been in the garage a lot. You don't have a lot of miles on it. I choose to take that as a compliment. But, Salt Lake City, what were you just saying before that? Termite?
We all lost a train of thought. Something about what your coach was talking about going in.
Well, anyways, it was good though. I mean, it was going to be so good. But
And I do that too. So
my brother, right, Coach? Oh yeah, I took these long breaks, and 5 years before Salt Lake City, my big Austrian coach calls me out of the blue. Goes, Ruben, you must come back. Luge needs Argentina. They don't care about me when they got plenty of countries, but when
Now they need you.
Call Ruben up, right? And so forget it, Coach. I'm done. Thanks, but no thanks. Got a family now. Thanks, but no thanks. Now, I was really done. I didn't want to get back on that sled. Yeah, but he's a winner, 3-time world champion. He won't take no for an answer. He keeps calling. And finally he goes, okay, I got a deal for you. He totally lost his accent. He goes, I got a deal for you. You get yourself to Calgary. I got a camp coming up there in a few weeks. I'll take care of room, board, track fees, because we take 5 or 6 runs a day, $40 a piece out of our pocket. Okay? It's really expensive.
Yeah, I was wondering how the economics worked and all that. We get into that later.
It doesn't work.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you're not working, right? So the bills are mounting. And so, anyways, so I would have odd jobs all the time, even when I worked, when I was in college, gunning for that first Olympics. I wouldn't go out on dates. I wouldn't even take a girl out to Dollar Cinema. I waited till Tuesday night when it's 50 cents, and it's over. And so, but priorities, right? And so, I just chose my mission. And so Coach, says, I said, okay, I got a deal for you, Coach. I got a brother. He's seen me go to 2 Olympics. And if that deal goes for him too, we got 5 years. Maybe he can learn the sport. Maybe he can crack top 50. Well, how old is he? He's 30 years old. 30 years old? Are you crazy? Oh, you got to see this guy's an incredible athlete. He's not, okay? He's an architect. Gonzalez, okay, shameless plug. GonzalezArchitect.com. Architects.com.
Okay, sure.
Memorial. He does tons of renovations in the Memorial area, big houses.
GonzalezArchitect.com. Here in Houston area.
Architects. Yeah.
All right.
So we go. He starts training. He breaks a few bones. He keeps coming back because we're all bulldogs. We're a pack of bulldogs. No chihuahuas in our pack. And with one race to go, I was already in. I had enough points. And then he pulls one out of the bag and he made it. Okay. But when he caught the dream, he got in shape. Okay. He got ripped and he got serious and he did the work. And when he crashed and burned, he got up and got back into it. We made Olympic history. First time 2 brothers compete against each other in the men's luge. I mean,
wow.
All kind of records.
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me. You said record. That's what it reminded me.
Yeah.
So who knows? If I make one more, man, maybe I'll get Depends diapers to sponsor. I'll be doing Depends commercials.
Man, yeah, that would definitely get some attention, and that's what marketers want. That would definitely make headlines.
Yeah. Well, I believe in you. I believe in you. And then before we go today, we're going to tell people where if they wanted to help, wanted to get behind you. If we had some major company want to get behind you, we're going to tell them in just a little bit.
I said let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now.
We plugged your brother's business, GonzalezArchitects.com in Houston. Yep. And you have your website, which is
OlympicMotivation.com.
OlympicMotivation.com.
And so
that's
if
easy
people,
to remember. The luge man, nobody knows how to spell luge. That's the problem. But I got like 20 URLs that point the same way. But OlympicMotivation.com. And and you know what? Big companies, if you're listening to this, what I'd really like, rather than you give me a big check that'll help me train, how about you book me to come speak and inspire your people to be more productive, and then I get my check there, and then it doesn't feel like a gift,
Yeah, I love that. And obviously, you're very motivational, your story itself. So that would be great. So if anybody out there, go to olympicmotivation.com and they could talk to you about booking you for a speaking engagement, which then we'll go through to support these things.
Yeah.
And how much does it talk to us a little bit about the money? Because, I'm of this misunderstanding. You're doing the luge for Argentina and they want to be in. So you'd think that the country itself would sponsor you. And so I guess it doesn't work that way.
No soccer ball involved. I could win the gold medal. It would be the first Winter Olympic gold medal in Argentina ever. They've won some summer ones, some big ones summer. But I don't think I'd even make the paper. They don't care. I called at the end of the opening ceremonies of the Salt Lake City Olympics. We got back, as soon as I got back in my room, I called a cousin of mine who lives in Buenos Aires. I says, hey, did you see us on TV? Because there's only like 10 or 15 of us, right? So I'm easy to pick out. And I'm the old one. He says, did you see me? And she goes, no, the opening ceremonies were preempted by a third division soccer match.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't care less. But I don't care. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you're not doing it for them.
I do lots of sales kickoffs because I used to sell copiers in downtown Houston. And so I inspire people because people walk out, your salespeople walk out thinking, man, if that guy can go to the Olympics, I can do anything, right?
It's very inspirational.
Yeah, that's right.
People they were afraid of.
Well, we are running out of time, but as we wrap this up, let's wrap up some of these points of, what is one of the biggest fears you've ever faced? You've done a lot, so it's hard for me it's almost unfair to me to even ask you to bring your biggest, but think about what was some of the most, I guess, some of the decisions that had the biggest consequences that were fearful that you had to overcome and push through like a bulldog.
I don't know if it's, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. Okay, I'm Clark Kent in real
Definitely
life.
don't believe it. I'm not saying it.
I turn to Superman when you get me talking about the Olympics or
All right.
but you're just quiet. And so for me, I don't go to networking meetings because I'm the guy hiding behind the plant in the corner. Okay, for me, it's super hard to go and introduce myself to somebody. It's like it's a waste of business cards. So that's always been tough for me. And I don't know if that's a result of getting bullied so much. I mean, I got bullied not through high school, but definitely through middle school. I mean, bad. And I never felt it was a racial thing. Okay. I never did because I was just the kid that was the misfit. I had a different culture and I, thought differently. And for whatever reason, they jump on the one that's a little bit different. That's the target. But I never took it personal, and I didn't. I mean, I just didn't. But that's a big fear of mine, and it still is. And I have to force myself. But if I'm in a room and I know, maybe I'm in I don't know. Just in a room. There's a vice president of sales of a Fortune 500 company. I know that's, man, I'm going to go talk to him, okay? Because now it's the desire for the opportunity to go speak for his people, right?
Yeah.
That's
Desire overcomes the fear.
absolutely. It's because it's a desire, right? Because right now, I've been speaking professionally since 2002 and never took a speech class in my life because what for? Because I'm scared of people. And so about a month before the Salt Lake City Olympics, 2002, I'm playing with the kids in my neighborhood. I always like the kids more than the adults, so a lot less drama. And so I'm always playing with them. And one of them says, hey, Ruben, when you get back from the Olympics, will you be my show and tell project in school? I thought, sure, why not? And I pictured show and tell back in my day, 20 kids in a classroom. Everybody's going to show something off, go talk about it for 5 minutes. I thought, okay, at least 5 minutes for me. I can handle that. I'm going to win. I'm going to kill. No prisoners. Right? I don't care if it's a bunch of little kids. I'm very competitive.
You're getting it.
I took the sled, the helmet, the Olympic torch because I was a torch bearer. No prisoners. I go. The principal takes me to this big room. There's 200 kids sitting on the floor. He hands me this mic and he goes, "You got 45 minutes. Have at him." And I almost had a heart attack.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. And the door looks so inviting. I mean, the guy that wrote, The Courage to Succeed almost ran out from a bunch of little kids. I was petrified. I said a prayer. I said, God, what do I do now? And what I felt I needed to do was, I never heard him talk yet, okay? But he's put feelings in my heart and thoughts in my mind. And what I thought I needed to do was, hey, just tell them your story and give them some pointers how they make their dream come true. And I did. I didn't die or anything, so I was excited about that part.
You lived.
And I'm packing up. The teachers, they surrounded me. They go, what do we have to do to get you to stick around another hour? We'll pull the fourth graders out of class. They got to hear this. Hey, bring them on. That was actually kind of fun. So this was a smoke screen. It was all in my head, right?
Yeah.
afraid of doing it, but once I did it, I realized that it was fun. It was like it's like an alter ego. I'm a different person up on stage. And so on the way to the car, the principal's going nuts. You got a gift. You're better than people we pay. You need to do this for a living. When he says you're better than people we pay, that got my attention.
He's like, well, I could get some income.
Yeah. You get paid for show and tell?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, it's a speaking profession, man. I was clueless. And he got me thinking. And for the next 3 days, I thought, that was a whole lot of fun. Maybe I could impact some lives, and inspire them to go for it and face their fears. And I quit my job 3 days later. I figured if I can sell a copying machine, I can sell a Ruben too. And I started
That's right.
hitting the phone. And I started hitting the phones like an animal, and I built a business.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And before I forget, you mentioned a book that you wrote. Let's do a shameless plug on that.
No. It's just more information for your wonderful audience. It's the first book I wrote is The Courage to Succeed. They're on Amazon. Just look me up on Amazon.
Okay, The Courage to Succeed.
But the latest one that I wrote, it's called The Shortcut, the fastest way to reach your goals. And that one, everybody says is their favorite one, even though The Courage to Succeed used to be number one. And it's a quick, short read. And it's I did this TED Talk. I've only done a TED Talk once because they require you to memorize. Okay, I practiced in the shower for 6 months. I mean, I've never been so clean in my life. and I did it, but even though it looks good, I didn't feel, normal.
You weren't feeling it, yeah.
Right,
It was rehearsed.
So it's probably going to be my last one. But it got 1 million views. It's called the power of following the leader, right? That's when I learned by actually starting to listen and actually do what Coach said. And so if you go to follow the leader, right? Just like the game, follow the leader, tedtalk.com. You can watch it there. And it's 12 minutes long. Just get some popcorn and watch it with the family and learn.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So that book, The Shortcut, is based on that.
Well, I'm going to get that. And those both can be found on Amazon, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, we are out of time, and I do encourage everybody to visit these. Get your books. I love your energy. Very inspiring. As we close it out, what's one thing that you would like to be your legacy, or something that you'd say is like one word that defines your mindset that you would love others to learn from?
Hold it.
Oh,
I got that
unless
word.
you got it.
I got that word for him.
What's that?
Bulldog.
Bulldog.
That's what he's. Man, what an incredible name for you. You are a bulldog.
Should have gone to what is it? The Georgia. Is it
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come up with your own word. What would you call it?
Just inspiring, I guess. I get these emails probably 3 or 4 times a year. I'll get these emails, and they always just start exactly the same. It's like they're copycatting each other. It says, I heard you speak 2 years ago. I mean, always. Not 3, not 1, always. And I, fill in the blank. I lost 50 pounds. I paid off my credit cards. I started my business. I got a big promotion, whatever. So that makes me feel like $1 million because I realize that I'm making a difference, right? I'm making a difference.
Making a difference.
We'll call that a big, long word.
I love it.
Ripple effect of success everywhere I go.
One more time before we go. Tell everybody how they get a hold of you. And I want to encourage everybody, get a hold of him. If you need a speaker, call him.
Or go to the olympicmotivation.com.
There it is.
You can find the books there. You can find the TED Talk there, a bunch of videos.
All your content.
Like 1 5-minute video. Well, anybody can be good 5 minutes. I got about 20 videos on mine, right? So you can really pop some. It's all rated G. You can pop some popcorn and watch it with your kids, and especially if they're teenagers, just watch it and then discuss it later. Maybe they'll actually learn something.
I love
it. Well, Termite, this has been incredible. It's been exciting. Why don't you close us out? Because it's hard. I don't even know how to end with this. We want to keep on going.
Well, we want to keep it going, and don't be surprised as later on we get you back, because this has just been so exciting, and I can tell there's so much more. So what we do, and we're just going to do our regular.
Well, let's do our regular closeout.
Yeah, we're going to do. All right, you know how we put our dukes up in boxing, our guard up. We want to tell everybody to keep your guard.
Life comes at you like the luge, so you got to keep your guard up because things are going to come at you. And we just look in forward, and then we're going to close out the show.